Welcome to the Chris Hatcher Show, presented by Alabama 811. I'm your host, Kevin Blackwell, and of course, each week I'm joined by Samford head football coach Chris Hatcher. Well, it was a dogfight at Samford Stadium on Saturday, but Samford moves to 5-1 on the season, 3-0 in the Southern Conference play after their 28-14 win over the Wofford Terriers. It's Samford's best start to a season since 2016, and they remain firmly entrenched in the Stats Perform FCS Top 25 this week. Coach, it wasn't always pretty Saturday, but as you like to say, any conference win's a good win.
No question about it. Wofford has been leaning heavily on their defense this season. Not a lot of people have scored many points on them. I thought that defensively, we played outstanding all the way to the very end. We had one bad sequence in all three phases there late in the fourth quarter, but defensively, had a shutout going there. To late in the game. We continue to play really well over there on that side of the ball. It was a game that concerned me headed into the game. Wofford was winless on the season. They had a coaching change late in the week. They do have good players. They run good schemes. Their guys play hard. It's always a tough game when Samford and Wofford meet. And I thought we had I guess the best way to put it, a cruddy week of practice and preparation for the game. So you put all those things together. I was very concerned headed into the game, and the way we came out flat offensively. We had a hard time moving the ball. The game was a lot closer than maybe it should have been if we make a few more plays here or there. But again, we found a way to win the game. We found a way to win it convincingly there at the end. I tipped my hat to Wofford. They came in with a great game plan. Their players played hard under the circumstances that they had to come in with. But again, very excited how we played the game. We won, and how we've played this first half of the season.
Well, you mentioned that coaching change at Wofford. That news breaks on Thursday that Josh Conklin resigned effective immediately. Have an interim coach, coach you're familiar with, Sean Watson. How does that change the way that you prepare? I mean, you find it on Thursday. Is there any adjustments that you have to make when you hear news like that?
Well, when it first came out, of course, you think the worst. I mean, you think, all right, they're going to come out and do some different things, and then you sit back and you look at it, and all right, if they do come out and run something differently, and they haven't been practicing it, probably won't be very good at it. So we myself, Coach Boone, and the rest of the staff, we took a deep breath, and we continued, as we had earlier in the week. And sure enough, they came out and played the way that we expected them to play. The big thing is you're dealing with a lot of college-age students, and we were laughing about some of those things before the show started. You just want to know how is Wofford going to respond, to that. And sometimes, when you do have a coaching change, you get just a new jolt of energy. And of course, they had not had a great season up to that point. So all those things you kind of factor in. But at the end of the day, like I told the team on Friday, it was about us executing well going into the game. And for the most part, we did that.
Michael Harris went 31 of 42 for 251 yards and 2 touchdowns and had his best day as a rusher as well on Saturday. Kendall Watson made some spectacular catches, 10 catches, 83 yards, and a touchdown. And DJ Reyes adds a 72 yards and 4 catches, including a 54-yard touchdown. Coach, I felt like that was a breakout game for DJ, the transfer. That 54-yard catch also came at a big time in the third quarter for our team.
Well, he's a good player, especially when he gets the ball in his hands. And we haven't got it into his hands as much as we need to. But if you look back through the course of the year, he seems to always break the first tackle, make the first guy miss. I thought that, again, with this defensively, we're playing outstanding. We get a few more scores offensively. We're over there thinking about when to put the subs in the ball game. But I thought that the 2-minute drive at the end of the half to put us up 14, huge jolted momentum to our favor. And then the touchdown pass to DJ to start the third quarter, you just kind of felt like that was going to be enough to win the game. And sure enough, it was.
It was that. Jalen Thomas also continues to make big plays just when we need them. His 37-yard run, as you mentioned, late in the third quarter, ended up being one of the biggest plays of the game. Coach, this two-headed monster that we have at running back with Jay Stanton and with Jalen, this might be one of the kind of best 1-2 punches running back that I've seen in your tenure as a coach here.
Well, we've had some good running backs since I've been here, but with the addition of Jalen, and he's a different style runner than Jay. Jay's more of a, he does everything really fast, and Jalen's a little more patient back there, so it's been a good complement for one another. But I think as good as those guys are running the ball, this is maybe one of the best run-blocking offensive lines we've had. And then on top of that, the receivers have, for the most part, have been very unselfish and done a good job of blocking on the perimeter. But, right now we're playing good defense. We're running the ball well. We're hitting some big passes when we need to, and that's how you win. You run the ball good. You stop the run when you have to. That's a winning combination, and right now we're doing that.
Well, as you mentioned, the Samford defense continues their good play, holding the Terriers to 220 total yards on Saturday. Nathan East tallies 6 tackles and a pass breakup. So too does Ty Hardiman, 6 tackles, pass breakup. Coach Jamal Thompson's a player I want to speak with you about. When number 81 made those big plays, I had to really look down my depth chart a little bit to see who this guy was. But what a great game Jamal had. He emerged on the scene, 4 tackles, 1.5 sacks, a freshman out of Sarasota, Florida. He was worked hard. That hard work really showed up, I thought, in the game Saturday.
There's no question about it. Between him, Kobe Stewart, and Johnny Johnson, those are 3 defensive ends that we I hate to use pass rush specialists, but they've been really good change-up defensive linemen throughout the course of the game. The week prior to this game, Jamal was injured and couldn't play. This week, Johnny Johnson had to sit on the sideline due to a minor injury. So Jamal got his chance and went in and made 2 really big plays. One of the sacks took Wofford out of field goal range early in the game, and it was good to see. But it's always good to see young guys, finding their niche and making plays. That bodes well for the future.
Absolutely. Well, Coach, it's a bye week, and it comes at a perfect time for Samford. It just feels like the right time for a bye week, doesn't it?
It's funny you say that. I really felt like after the Furman game that week, last week was the right time. I could just sense we're a little tired, we're a little beat up, our focus is down a little bit. As a coach, you have that instinctual feeling, and I felt that. Now, knowing what I know now that we won the game on Saturday, man, this is the best time for a bye week. But our guys needed it. The coaches, we needed it. We got to get some guys healed up. We played 6 straight ball games, tough games. They've all been close, and this would be a good time. So, we'll work on some fundamentals this week. We'll put some base plays in for our next opponent. Defensively, we'll work on some things that we'll see over the next few weeks. We'll have 2 good days of practice, get a long weekend, and then come back for what we hope to be a very special run, which I think we have a very special football team.
Well, the Bulldogs' next game will be played in Johnson City, Tennessee against the ETSU Bucks on October the 22nd. It's a 2:30 kickoff, and that game will be televised on ESPN3. That will do it for this week's edition of the Coach Chris Hatcher Show, presented by Alabama 811.